Alright. Imagine you playing in front of 60,000 fans, all came out to watch you. Picture you running down the sideline, diving over 2 defenders, getting knocked out, scored a touchdown. And it's your first school championship, all the glory, all the media, and the snap of the finger just taken away. And you put your body on your line, your sweat, your pain, your tears, coaches yelling, spitting in your face, just to receive nothing out of it, just being angry at you as a player who won the game. So today I will show you why I think that collegiate athletes should be paid by playing sports. As a player, I mean, most players in the collegiate football team, they come from low income families, and I feel like that money that the NCAA is taking from the players is money they can use to support themselves and their family. Because I know, as an athlete, I know when the cafe closed, you know what I'm saying, you hungry until the next morning. So, and the fact that some people's family is living from bread to crumbs, and you know what I'm saying, they can't go see a kid go do what they gotta do. Maybe that's that person that they got just wanting them to go, so they go to the NFL, pay for what their family needs. I feel like players really need that money. I'm pretty sure everybody that went through that time where you need some money for what you did. You know what I'm saying? You get beat up, broken down, sweat, spit in your face. You feel me? So it's I feel like all that is basically professional, because at the end of the day, they're using your body, your will to get what they want, which is a championship and wins. And the only thing it gives is the coaches get paid. And the coaches get the glory. I mean, you get the glory in ESPN, but at the end of the day, you ain't getting nothing out of it. You're just saying, oh, he was a good player. You feel me? And another point I want to check on is that the NCAA generates so much money with college athletes. According to ESPN, the NCAA generated $1 billion in the 2017 and 2018 year. And according to that, they said that they had made $56.4 million off of ticket revenues and $60 million off of marketing fixes, promoting the games, So I feel like that's absurd, because where my money at? You can get $20, $40, $50, but you out here busting your balls for this program to, get crumbs. You just get the glory, and then the snap of the fingers taken away from you. You back to humble beginnings again. And I feel like that the NCAA is very rigged, and that causes that makes us an athlete, as us, former athletes and anybody in here, it make you feel kind of pissed off in a way, because you damn, I did everything for you motherfuckers, you feel me? So it's now you want your little piece of the pie. Everybody else get a piece of the pie, why can't I? You ain't got $200 to give me for just putting my body on the line for you. And lastly, I would like to, it will make student athletes want to stay in school longer. Because as a student athlete, if you ball out through 3 years, you're gonna want to go to the league, and reality, what you're missing out is on your degree. Because you struggle so much through college and financially, and you just I feel like that would give athletes more reason to stay longer, because they ain't gotta worry about hunger or worry about what their families need, or like, you know. So I feel like that'll make players like wanna stay and get their bachelor's degree, so they won't be like a lost cause because you know when they chase their dreams, and then your dream get crushed, and then you ain't got no degree to fall back on. Now you back at square one. You just sad. And I think that the NCAA is very rigged and need to be resigned because there's a lot of athletes out here that just bust their ass for their program, and all they get is a smack on the ass and good job, you got us to, and then you got these records and marketing issues. They're making all this much money, so I feel like as us as people, y'all might not see it as a big thing, but I really think that we should, us the people should take this one vote away to make a change to get athletes paid.
All right, Alexis, what did you think?
I thought you did pretty good. Your thesis statement was pretty, kind of clear how you what you were going to talk about. I would say maybe not cuss so much. You didn't seem as nervous as you usually are. In the past, you kind of walking around and doing kind of a lot, and today you kind of you seem like you know what you're talking about, but you could practice just a little bit more, just so it comes off a little bit better. But I think it was still pretty good.
All right, well, the visualization at the beginning I think is okay. I do think that you could make it a little bit more complete. You also have a tendency to drop your voice sometimes. That's the one thing that I think she was right, that you look more controlled than you have in past presentations. You look more like you know what you're saying and where you're going and confident about what you're saying. But the one place that I don't know if it's anxiety or uncertainty or just a lack of practice seems to come out is your voice, because sometimes you just start not quite mumbling to yourself, but talking low to yourself, almost like you're whispering to yourself and forgetting that there's 25 people sitting out here that need to hear you, and you need to project a little bit more. I thought you had a very clear thesis statement, purpose for the speech. That was fine. You need to have it structured a little bit more. There's not really a supporting structure that is easy to follow. You've got a lot of complaints that you want to make about the system, and most of them come down to the needs of college athletes. I think you need to document the notion that college athletes are not adequately provided for, either because they don't have, you say a lot of them come from poor families. I think that that's probably true. That wouldn't be hard to document and quantify, and you could probably even give us a couple of examples. But the notion that they are not adequately provided for, I don't know. If you think that the NCAA and college athletics should be sort of like a semi-pro league or the league for young athletes, then that's a different issue. I think there's a problem. Frankly, I'll tell you, I have colleagues that think that college athletics are a complete waste of time and don't belong in colleges and universities. We should be getting rid of all of them and go the opposite direction, because they compete with the purpose of being in the college or the university, and they undermine it. And most of the people who justify using college athletics and having it, do so with the notion that this is giving people an opportunity to do something that they wouldn't get a chance to do otherwise, get a college degree from a prestigious university. So when you say you get nothing in return, I think that you have to acknowledge that most athletes who are competing at a level that might deserve compensation are probably getting something. What they're getting is not necessarily what they need. Maybe that's the argument. You talk about that a little bit at the end where you say, they don't get their degrees or they don't complete it. That's what we need to make sure gets addressed. The whole when you say they're not getting paid, they're not getting paid cash. But if you go to a private university as a college athlete with a full-time scholarship, you're getting $60,000 a year worth of stuff in exchange. So that's more than $200,000 that you get in the 4 years that you're there. If it's a public university, it might be a little bit less depending upon where you go, but it's still a substantial chunk of change, and it's not the $200 that you're talking about here. There's an argument to be made that says that the athletes are being exploited and that they ought to get greater consideration here, but I think you need to make that argument from a more realistic perspective. When they say that you don't get jack, I'm sitting here going, well, you know what? My kid went to SC and I paid for it myself with, very little scholarship assistance, and I'm in debt up to my ears as a result of that. And if she had played tennis or she'd been a golfer, or if she'd been a football player, I wouldn't have had that kind of thing. And that seems like it's a good compensation, for somebody. It is valuable to somebody. The question is it not valuable to the athletes? If all they're interested in is playing the sport and they aren't interested in the college degree, then pay them. And let's turn it into a semi-pro league, and let's detach it from the colleges and universities. If we're going to keep it connected to the college and universities, then we have to have some other way. But that doesn't mean that there isn't some justification for giving them additional compensation. And I think that's what you need to develop a little bit more of. You had a little bit of information in the speech about how much revenue the universities bring in, or the NCAA brings in. I do think that you need to put that in context. $1 billion, that's a lot of money to you and me, but if you're spreading that amongst all the NCAA schools, that's not necessarily a huge chunk of change. And how much that would, which athletes are we talking about? Are we talking about all athletes? Are we talking about just athletes that are in sports that bring in revenues? I don't know how we're supposed to evaluate those things, and that I think is something that needs to be developed as part of your argument as well. All right, thank you.